Okay, good afternoon, children. This is SST lesson number 13. Okay, natural disaster. Natural disaster means unexpected natural events. Okay, they are called natural disaster. Okay, unexpected natural events which kill a lot of people or cause huge damage are called natural disaster. So natural disaster means it can be anything that naturally happens, and the result of that happening, there will be lot of damages, even the lives will be damaged. Okay, and that is called natural disaster. Natural disaster reveal the fury of nature. So fury means the highest stage of anger. Okay, and they are beyond the control of human beings. Let us study about the natural disasters in detail. So when natural disaster comes, it comes in a very strong way. No human being can control it. Okay, we cannot do anything against these natural disasters. So let's learn about these natural disasters in detail. First one is earthquake. You might have heard about earthquakes. Okay, earthquakes are tremors or vibrations caused in the earth. They are the result of a sudden movement of earth crust along the weaker points of the earth's surface. Okay, so tremors travel as waves in all the directions from the center of the disturbance. The place from where the earthquake originates is called the seismic focus. The point on the earth vertically above the seismic focus is called the epicenter. Okay, epicenter. Okay, so now the earthquake, it is a kind of vibration caused in the earth. Okay, and the result of a sudden movement, okay, or any a crust kind of movement taking place from the weaker point of the earth's surface. So that is called earthquake. Okay, these movements, okay, they travel as as a waves. Just like the waves on the water, they travel from one point and they spread through the entire area. Like if you put a stone on the water, you can find the waves travel till the end. The same way, these kind of waves travel in all direction from the center point of the area. So center disturbance, okay, where the vibration hits. Okay, and the vibration starts from the center point, and that wave travels to all the directions. Okay, the place from where the earthquake originates, that is called seismic focus. Okay, the area from where the earthquake or the vibration starts, that place is called seismic focus, and the point on the earth vertically above the seismic focus is called epicenter, means straight away. So this vibration takes place under the earth. Okay, under the surface. Okay, so from that center point vertically straight away to the above, okay, that area is called epicenter. We can measure and record the intensity and duration of an earthquake with a device called seismograph. The intensity of an earthquake is measured on a Richter scale from 0 to 9. Strong earthquakes have intensity values of more than 5. Okay, earthquake is a natural disaster which happens without any prior warning and causes serious damage. Many earthquakes happens every year. Most of them are minor and we hardly feel their effect. So the measuring tool that is called the seismograph, through which the earthquake is measured, and this earthquake is measured on the Richter scales from 0 to 9. Normally the strong intensity of the earthquake is measured more than 5. Okay, 5 Richter in scale. Okay, this natural disaster happens without any prior information, means we cannot guess when it will happen. Suddenly it can happen. It can be minor or major, but we can feel the effect. Okay, and there are some major earthquakes that cause huge damage to life and property. So usually the minor one we feel very lightly, but the major one we may face lot of damages. Okay, on 26 January you might have heard in 2001, okay, that it was a heavy damage. Earthquake took place in Gujarat. Around 20,000 people died, 15 lakh were injured, and 8 lakh houses were ruined, totally demolished. Okay, and this was the very heavy earthquake in Gujarat. Okay, usually in Himalayan ranges we used to have earthquake very frequently, normally, even in Japan, Philippines. Okay, these are the areas normally very usually feel the earthquakes. Okay, and that's why the people living in that areas like Japan and Philippines, they make their houses according to the situation. Okay, effects of earthquake. What are the effects? Okay, it can damage the physical features, and it is after the earthquake you can find a new kind of formation of valleys and mountains. Usually when earthquake comes, the mud and everything will be totally dismantled and everything will be changed, and after the earthquake you can find new kind of valleys and mountains developed in the areas. Okay, and it can cause a huge damage to life and property. Okay, and many people will die, and many will be injured, and many buildings will be totally collapsed. Okay, and what else? The effects of the earthquake. So the underwater earthquake can harm the lives of the water animals also. Okay, and earthquake can form new island in underwater. Even new islands also can happen. Okay, tsunami also caused because of the underwater earthquake. In some areas you might have heard about tsunami. Okay, so that is happening because of underwater earthquake. Okay, because underwater there are islands. Some areas they formed as islands. If anything happens in the islands, underwater islands, that also can cause big damages. That is also the result of the underwater earthquake happened. It become as a tsunami outward, and it can also cause landslide in the hilly areas. Okay, so what are the precautions we can have during earthquakes? So immediately what we have to do once the earthquake happens, so immediately get out of the building and move towards the open area, so that we will not have any damage or anything fall on us. Okay, and if you happen to stay inside the room, just to go under the table or desk, so that you can protect your head. Okay, so immediately we have to protect our head, so we have to go under table or desk. Okay, and usually we should keep ourselves away from buildings, okay, or any lamp post or any trees, okay, signboard, because during earthquake it can hit us sometime, and that will make us harm. Okay, and during earthquake, if we are traveling, we should not move. The vehicle should be stopped. If we are traveling by lift, immediately we have to get out of the lift. Okay, and very mostly we have to know that need not to panic, or we should not be in confusion, or we should not fear, because it is a natural disaster, but we have a lot of precautions and solutions, so need not to be panicked. Okay, the second one is cyclone. First one is earthquake, second one is cyclones. So cyclones are violent sea storms. It is just like we see the wind over the earth. The same way, these cyclones happens in the sea, okay, water surface, okay, water area, due to high speed of rotations of winds in a circular motion. When wind flows very in a high speed on the water body, so that causes cyclone, okay, and these winds flow very strongly, okay, towards the center area. So usually the earthquake starts from center, but the cyclone blows to the center area, focusing onto the center area, okay, and this also accompanies with heavy rainfall, okay. Usually whenever cyclone comes, rain also comes along with cyclone, okay, and these cyclones mostly happens in the coastal areas, the nearby sea areas, okay, that is called coastal areas, okay. In India, coastal areas are hit by cyclones very often, okay. In 1990, a cyclone in Andhra Pradesh, the winds traveled at the speed of 250 kilometers per hour. So it was a very heavy cyclone took place in Andhra Pradesh in 1990. Okay. So what are the effects of cyclone? Cyclone cause a huge damage. Normally every natural disaster will damage the lives and the properties. Normally it will hit lot of lives, and many lives will be lost because of these natural calamities. The same way cyclone also can damage the roof, the buildings, and many trees will be pulled down, all those things. Okay. Cyclones are often accompanied by torrential rain. So normally whenever cyclone comes, a heavy rainfall will be there. Okay. Cyclone also result of casualties. If people are not careful, fishermen trapped in sea in cyclones generally lose their life. During cyclones, there will be a lot of announcement because weather casting will be there, forecasting will be there. So always, when we if you are regularly traveling in on the sea, we should get the forecast. Then we have to go. So otherwise, we will be trapped inside the water and we will lose the life. Okay, precautions. Keep yourself updated with the weather forecast. That's what I told you. So there will be regular forecast will be there, weather forecast will be there. We have to listen and follow the guidance, and we should always listen to the radio and television news regarding weather forecast. Okay, and during the cyclone time, we should avoid going near to the water bodies, whether it be sea or anything, any near water bodies. Okay, and during the cyclone, what we have to do is we have to store enough water, food items, whatever we need, because if it can prolong for a long time, we will be starving. So we need to keep everything. Okay, immediately when we feel that there is a heavy cyclone or any heavy rainfall, immediately we have to move to the safer area or the higher area till the warning comes. Okay, and we have to keep the telephone numbers and emergency services and our numbers of relatives and friends. For any emergency, we can contact them. Okay, that is very important. And the third one is floods. Okay, when a large amount of water overflows on a dry land, that is called flood. Usually during heavy rainfall, okay, we face floods. These occurs usually in the plain areas. Okay, this is what are the causes for this flood? Flood occurs when there is a very heavy rainfall wherever it happens, the flood will be there. Okay, and other thing is if there is a damage or any dams are burst out, then there will be heavy flood. Okay, and in some of the hilly areas like in the Himalayas, if there is a sudden melting of snow, then it can be a heavy flood. Sometimes in the hilly areas, landslide, avalanches, logs, river and cause flood. Landslide and avalanches comes up, then the rivers will be blocked, then naturally flood will happen. Okay, and one more thing is because of cyclone and typhoons, tsunamis, these kind of heavy unusual things when happen, the flood also occurs. Okay, so in India it is very common during monsoon the heavy rainfall used to happen. So during that time mostly the nearby areas, river and the water bodies nearby areas will face this flood. Okay, plain areas usually. Effects of flood: the sewage line overflows, making the condition unhygienic. Usually in the cities you can find the sewage lines everywhere. When the flood comes, all the sewage lines will be blocked. So and all the unwanted waters, wastages, everything will be mixed of the water. Then it will be hygiene, and we will face lot of diseases. Many diseases will come. So through that, what are the diseases spread? Cholera, dengue, and malaria. This kind of disease will affect the people. And because of this flood, you can find lot of insects like snakes. Some insects will flow through the water, and it can also harm our body. Okay, we have to be very careful during flood. So what are the precautions we can have? So first thing and very important thing, we should have the updates from the radio and television. So usually there will be weather forecast, so we have to keep ourselves updated through that. And another thing is what we can do is we can spray disinfections. Okay, like some kind of medicines we can put surround us, so that unwanted these kind of infections will not touch us. Okay, and maximum level we can keep enough food and drinking water. Okay, and we have to keep radio, candles, matchboxes, lighter, torchlight, very handy torchlight, emergency lamps. Nowadays we use power banks to charge our mobiles and all. Okay, so these are the things we have to take care of it. We have to be very careful in handling this. We have to keep it ready. As far as possible, do not step into the flood water. Normally we should not step into the flood water because it can take you away. Okay, but don't panic. Whatever happens, we should be strong enough to face. That is very important thing. Okay, next one is drought. Drought occurs when the soil of the particular area dries up and the crops get damaged due to lack of water. So this drought means it's a kind of dryness that happens on the soil. Okay, if there is no rainfall for a long time, naturally all the soil will be get dried up and no crops will grow. So this is the result of this will end up in drought. Okay, so effects of drought. So farmers cannot, what are the effects? Farmers cannot grow any crops, and this will cause the famine. So we will not have enough food, and human beings and cattle will starve. When there is no food, naturally everyone will be starving. Okay, when agricultural activities do not occur, farmers, farm laborers become unemployed. Okay, and this can compels people to migrate. When there is drought in the land, we will not have enough food, no job will be there, no work will be there. So this will compel us to move to the next to another areas. In India, in majority of the people, they migrate to many other areas for their survival, and that is also because of this drought, also one of the major reason for it. Okay, and what are the precautions we can do? Okay, so there are very good precautions we have to take care. Rainwater harvesting is one of the preventing reason to stop droughts. Okay, these are the very important thing. If we can save the rainwater, that will be very easy way to prevent drought. Okay, we can construct tanks or storage which can contain rainwater, so that during the dry times we can use that water, okay, for cultivation and for agriculture. Okay, and another thing is we have to grow more trees during the rainy seasons, so that can attract rain. Okay, and especially we should not cut more trees. So nowadays everywhere deforestation is happening. Okay, so we should not cut the trees. The more we have trees, the more rain we receive. Okay, and grow crops like millet, maize, okay, and sorghum. So we need less water. These are the plants need less water. Maybe if we can use these kind of things, crops, then our water can be saved. Okay, and normally we should not waste our water. Okay, and we should try to save water by all means. Whatever possible way we have to save water. These are the precautions. And another natural disaster is volcanic eruption. So usually in India it doesn't happen very in any areas, but a volcano is a mountain. Okay, when it bursts, magma, ash and hot gases come out from the interior of the earth. So it is volcanic is a pressure, okay, that comes when there is an opening on the top of the mountain, magma, ash and hot gases comes out of the interior of the earth. Okay, magma refer to the molten rocks found deep inside the earth. So it is a kind of melted rocks. Okay, they comes out of from the down. It comes from the earth. Okay, and the rocks become so hot and they melt. Okay, and melted rocks are called lava. Okay, lava cools down, it becomes solid rock again. When the lava comes out and they become very cool and they become strong rocks. Okay, gradually as more and more lava comes out of the cool, it forms a volcanic mountain. So after the lava comes out, they get cool and they become volcanic mountain. Okay, one of the major volcanic area of the world is around the Pacific Ocean. It is a huge band shaped like a horseshoe. It is called the Ring of Fire. So there is in the world the only place in the Pacific area you can find these volcanic eruptions. Okay, and there is a huge band shaped like horseshoe. It is called a ring of fire in the Pacific area. Okay, what are the effects? Volcanic eruption, this is also cause pollution. Okay, and there will be a lot of breathing problem will be there. Okay, and huge loss of property, and if we are not careful enough, even lives can be also destroyed, and the whole city town also will be covered by lava. So we cannot move anywhere. It is a very hot, even hot gases will come out, heavy smoke will come up, and melted rocks will come out. Then we cannot travel anywhere, we cannot come out. So that is also very big problem. Okay, and then what are the precautions? Keep yourself alert and all the information warnings on the media. For every natural disaster, we should be updated with all the government newses. Okay, we should be all the announcement we should listen and follow. Okay, and we have to follow the instruction of the government or whatever the instructors gave. Okay, and immediately we have to soon move to this very safe place. Okay, and we have to keep away from all the danger zones. We should understand, we should know where will be the volcanic eruption will take place. So we have to leave that zone, that areas, so that we can be careful and keep the phone numbers, telephone numbers of emergency, and turn to that. Do not return to that area unless it is completely safe. So once it happens, we should not return to that area unless it is very safe to go. Okay, then another one is landslide. So usually it happens in the Himalayas, okay, in the mountainous areas. Okay, and when the soil and rock move down a mountain slope, this is called landslide. Okay, and landslide also take place because of because of an earthquake. So the slow motions of earthquake brings the landslide. Generally they are caused because of heavy rainfall. Okay, even deforestation is also major cause for landslide. Okay, effects of landslide. Landslide can take lives, and it can happen suddenly, so there will be a heavy damages of property. Okay, it can also damage road and disrupt the travel. We cannot travel during landslide. And precautions: trees on mountains slopes should not be cut as they keep the land intact. So we should not cut out the trees, because that can stop the landslide, and we have to avoid during the rainy season. During heavy rainfall, we should not travel in the hilly areas. So these are the precautions. So this is all about natural calamities. So you can go through this video, you can write these word meanings. Okay, fine. And when come to the exercise area, okay, so these are the exercises already given. Okay, the place from where an earthquake originates is called seismic focus. Okay, fine. The center of the cyclone storm is called eye. Okay, the center of the cyclone point is eye. Flood generally occurs during monsoon season. Okay, the ring of fire is shaped like a horseshoe, that is in the Pacific areas. Generally landslides are caused because of rainfall. Okay, fine. So these are the things, and we have some questions. I'll send you the answers by PDF. Okay, fill the blanks. Dash are tremors and vibrations caused in the earth, that is earthquake. Okay, EARTHQUAKES, earthquakes. Okay, cyclones are accompanied by dash rains which cause flood. Heavy rain, HEAVY, heavy rains which cause flood. Okay, flood makes dash lines overflow. Sewage, SEWAGE, sewage lines. And dash cause acute shortage of food and can lead to famine. Drought, DROUGHT, drought. Dash cause immense air pollution. Volcanic eruptions. Okay, so then there is a true and false. You can do it by yourself. Already I have marked over here, and match the following also. You can do it very easily. Okay, already I have marked. If you have any doubt, you can see this and mark it. Okay, fine. That's all about natural calamities.